What's going on, everybody? It's Androids, and it's actually been a while since I've put up a new video. I've had one for the past couple of days, but for some reason, Camtasia and Vegas were hating each other for some reason, and I couldn't really get my videos to work out. So I figured out the problem, though, was just I needed to update Camtasia, and that was it. So I felt kind of dumb, but anyway. So today, this tutorial is just going to be sort of like the basics to creating a basic background. Um, so yeah, that's pretty much it. So what you're going to want to do is once you have your template pulled up, oh, also one more thing before we get started. I don't think you guys are going to be able to see my mouse, like I'm waving it in front of the screen right now, but because in Camtasia you have to save it as a camrec file or whatever, and if you don't save it as that, I'm pretty sure it doesn't track the mouse if you save it as an AVI. So yeah, so if my mouse isn't there, that's why, and I don't think it will be. Anyway, so you're gonna, once you have your template open, you're gonna want to create a new layer over here on the right side, and once you do that, just I get the paint bucket tool, and I have the white selected, and I just drop it down and make a plain white background. Then from there, so let's say this person wants a green background. I'll do gradient overlay, put the angle to 0, change the style to reflected, and then open up my little, click on this gradient box over here, and then click on the bottom left little marker, the black one, and then that'll bring up this option. It's called a color stop, I think. Yeah. And then click in the black box, and that'll bring up your color options. And then I'll make it pretty much like a yellow green neon, and then click in the bottom right color stop, and then click in the white box, and then I'll make it like a neon green, and then hit OK. And then that just makes sort of like a faded, I'm going to take this fade out real quick. That just makes sort of a, if I, like that's the background it makes, so yeah. And then from there I just convert the layer to a smart object and rasterize it, so it takes away, like, it doesn't say it has a gradient overlay anymore, it just shows as one normal layer. And then from there, that's usually like one of the main things, but also I end up usually also adding a fade to the bottom. And to do that, you just right click your paint bucket tool if it shows up as paint bucket, then click on gradient tool, and then make sure black is your foreground color, which it already is for me. And then you're going to make sure you want to have the regular fade selected, the far left one up here, and then click the little drop down arrow, and then click the black to transparent fade, and then make sure you've got your new layer selected and drag it above layer 1 or the background, and then just start at the bottom, hold or click, then hold shift and drag up to about the top of these boxes, and it just makes a nice black fade to the bottom. So then from there, I usually, one thing that I like to add to all of my backgrounds, usually, not always, like my current one right now doesn't have this, but I'll make the color, first I select the rounded rectangle tool, then I make sure my radius is 5, and then I go to color and just select a color that will blend well with the color of the background, and then I don't create a new layer. Make sure you're just below the modules or the boxes layer, and then at first I just, whoa, my Photoshop just went crazy. I usually just start by eyeballing it and just make an outline around the boxes, and then rasterize it real quick. Okay, second. I can't even see this right now. There we go. Okay, and then from there I just kind of center it, and that looks about right. I don't think it's perfect, but and then once I've done that to the box that goes around it, I already added a stroke so I could see it, but I add a 1 pixel stroke usually. Then I add a drop shadow, put the opacity to 100, the distance to 0, the spread to 10, and the size to 10. Then after that I go to bevel and emboss, and I changed the gloss contour to I think it's ring double. It's just the double pointed one there. And then from there I tone the black or the shadow mode down to about 25, and I bring the highlight mode or the white one all the way up to 100. And that usually looks pretty nice there, but you can mess around with these settings a little bit if you want. And from there what I just do is I get my transform tool, the top left one over here in the tools, and I hold Alt and then press down on the down arrow key, which makes a copied layer. Then I drag the copied layer under that one, and then I just drag it down to the bottom right below it so it matches up with that. And then from there I just stretch it down to the bottom of the template like that. So let me zoom out, and that's how it turns out right there. So, and then if I zoom in, you can see the nice little bevel effect that it gives, and it looks really nice. And then from there, usually I will add a most of the same effects to the actual modules. I usually once again add a 1 pixel stroke, make the color white, and then set the opacity to 25, and then do a drop shadow, and opacity 100, distance to 0, spread to 10, size to 10, and that looks pretty nice right there already. And sometimes I just leave it like that, or other times I will once again just add bevel and emboss, gloss contour, make it the ring double, and just leave it like that. And sometimes actually usually mess around with the size and settings a little bit just to get it how I want. I think that looks alright though. And it just makes this look beveled once again like the box is behind it. So that's the really basics of a background. Nothing special. I mean, I didn't add any like text or anything. This is just the actual background layer and the modules and stuff, or boxes, whatever you want to call them. And I mean, this just in itself can make a really nice background if you just add some simple text to it. So that's about it for today. I think next I'll probably do a tutorial on how to make a simple avatar, icon, profile picture, whatever you want to call it. So yeah, alright, see you guys. Thanks for watching.